Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Martine, and if you are new here, I do videos on Vedic astrology mainly, but also with some tropical insights. And I focus on both relationship and natal astrology. And if you like this video and you would like to hear more content from me, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And if you're interested in a personal consultation, please check out the video description. I will leave the information there. Thank you. So to get straight into today's video, it's going to be about Arudha Lagna in Gemini. So continuing the series that I started on Arudha Lagna through signs. Now, if you don't know what Arudha Lagna is, how to calculate it, I will link a video in the video description. You can go ahead and watch that. It's really concise, really to the point with examples. It's very simple to answer all your questions about Arudha Lagna. And yeah, you can check that to figure out if this video applies to you. But for now, I'm going to get straight into the video description. Straight into the description of Gemini Arudha Lagna. So, what does it mean to have Gemini Arudha Lagna? It means that people will perceive you as youthful, intelligent, curious, witty, versatile, resourceful. You are also going to be seen as a good communicator in both the written and spoken word. So naturally, this means that you are going to be favored in any profession that involves communication. So public speakers, involved with publishing, writers, things like that, writers of all kinds, journalists, because people will just naturally see you as fitting into these environments. Another thing that it can show is that somehow you could be known for your siblings, or you could be known as a younger sibling. Right. The second house from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Cancer, which shows that when you speak, people will perceive you to be a really gentle, soft-spoken individual, and almost motherly or nurturing when you speak. So people will generally find you trustworthy and soothing when they hear you speak. The third house from the Arudha Lagna falls in Leo, which shows that people will see you as somebody having a very strong will. So you're very good, particularly when it comes to defense or when it comes to holding your ground. So you're not necessarily going to be perceived as somebody who is strong when it comes to like hitting the obstacles in your path, but you're going to be perceived as somebody who yeah, you're dignified and you're very, very no nonsense in going about achieving your goals. And yeah, you're pretty much going to be perceived as somebody who has a strong will. And the fourth from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Virgo, which shows that your family of origin, your family background will be perceived as rather modest, unassuming. Best case scenario, your family is going to be well seen. They're going to be somehow connected to service or going to be perceived as analytical. They could be connected to the medical field, so either you have doctors in the family or they're going to be perceived as, I don't know, involved with, could be even like medicine trade or something like that. They are also going to be perceived as people who are dedicated to service in some way, and also could be known for their pets or like connection to pets, maybe veterinary, medical science or something like that. But all in all, your family background is going to be generally seen positively in society. The fifth from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Libra, which shows that your children are going to be perceived as, well, Venusian. So they're going to be seen as relatively materialistic on the one hand, but on the other hand, they're also going to be seen as very sociable in the most positive sense. They're going to be seen as refined, good at negotiations. Let me think, what else? They're going to be seen as artistic and possibly connected to the law, so could be lawyers or judges or something, but they're going to be seen as people who are always looking for win-win situations. So, in other words, good at negotiations, basically. And also, they could be perceived as good looking. And the 6 from the Arudha Lagna falls in Scorpio, which shows that you're going to be perceived as a person who really hits hard into the competition when you have to. So, in other words, you're going to be known as somebody that people don't want to mess with. Of course, this is all about how you are perceived. So, but people are generally going to see you as somebody capable of really hitting hard into the competition or any enemies that you have. And not necessarily like direct confrontation, but more likely you're going to be seen as somebody who can be good at strategizing against opposition or using all kinds of secret and, maybe psychological warfare, stuff like that. So manipulation and stuff. Could be even perceived as somebody who, might use supernatural methods of getting rid of competition, like curses and God knows what. Right. The 7th from the Arudha Lagna is going to fall in Sagittarius, which shows that your romantic partner is going to be perceived as somebody who is worldly, well-traveled, interested in higher learning, interested in traveling, interested in foreign cultures. They could be somebody who is seen to take on foreign cultures and their belief systems. They could be seen as somebody who's religious or somebody who's very passionate about what they believe in, idealistic. They could be perceived as somebody who is, like I said, religious. Could be somebody involved with a religious organization or somebody who's very public about their beliefs. The 7th from the Arudha also shows the class of people who will oppose you directly in this life. So it also shows basically people who try to put obstacles in your path. And the class of people that will put obstacles in your path are going to be shown by Jupiter as well, which shows that obstacles could come from teachers, professors, anybody involved with the educational professions. Also religious leaders or people who are religious, they could oppose you directly. It can also show biologists or people involved with the study of life, natural science. And what else? Let me think. That's pretty much it. So Jupiterian professions, basically. And, the 8th from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Capricorn, which shows that people will perceive your health to be not the greatest. Unless you have benefic planets aspecting the 8th house, especially sitting in the 8th house. Benefics meaning especially Jupiter, but also Moon, Venus, to a lesser extent Mercury. So unless you have these, you can generally be seen as not having the most robust health. If you have malefics aspecting the 8th house especially, you could be known in society for your vices or for some kind of chronic ailment that you might have. Another thing that it shows, especially if you have malefics aspecting the 8th house, especially, but even if you don't, you could have a hard time getting a loan approved, because the 8th house also shows, how people perceive your credit score and stuff like that. So you might be perceived as somebody who's not very good at paying their debt. Especially if there are malefics, like I said, aspecting the 8th house, and especially when there are malefics transiting the 8th house from the Arudha Lagna. It will be difficult for you to get a loan. And also, if you have a business, it might be difficult to gain investments, to gather investors in your business. Right. So, this was the 8th. The 9th from the Arudha Lagna is going to fall in, Aquarius. So, this shows that the group of people that are going to help you, so the group of people that are going to support you most in life are Aquarius ruled type of people. So on the one hand, this can show that you might actually be successful with large masses, because Aquarius rules large masses of people. But on the other hand, it shows that the group of people that you might gain favors from could be scientists on the one hand, but it can also be anybody in the New Age movement. So this could be astrologers, this could be esoteric practices of all kinds, tarot readers, you name it, hippies, modern day hippies. Could also be people involved with space travel, SpaceX, working for SpaceX, but you know what I mean. So yeah, because Rahu is most connected to high technology, so, and Rahu is co-ruling Aquarius. It also shows that you're going to gather approval and support from people from foreign lands, foreigners. And right, the 10th house will fall in Pisces, which shows that you are going to be perceived as somebody who will have a very artistic career. You're going to be seen as, yeah, I mean, very creative, definitely. Also somebody who can touch faraway lands, either traveling a lot or somebody who, through your profession, you reach even, I don't know, even the farthest corners of the earth. Or you reach you reach faraway places, basically. That's what it means. You're also going to be perceived, you're also going to be somehow well known because of your faith, because of your religious beliefs, or lack thereof. Something about religion is going to come across, or is going to come up in your career, or like the way that people perceive you, you know, your social status, the way that people perceive your social status and your image in the world is somehow going to be connected to faith. It can also be connected to anything connected to the ocean. So maritime travel, marine biology, things like this. It can also be connected to any kind of fluids, but more specifically mind-altering substances. So you could be somehow seen as being connected to drugs, basically. When I say drugs, I don't just mean like, I include the vast categories of substances that fall under that definition. So they could be alcohol, could be any kind of drug, anything. So you could be perceived as somebody who, I don't know, has connection to drugs, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it could be, it's going to be in a negative way. It could be like, I don't know, you have legal marijuana plantations, or it could be somehow, or you just have a strong stance on drugs or something. Something about this could be a thing that you are known for. And yeah, the 11th from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Aries. This shows that people will perceive your friend circles, your older brothers, older siblings, and acquaintances to be aggressive. Like, on the one hand, they could be seen as aggressive. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, they're going to be seen as assertive, strong, maybe pioneering. You could be seen as somebody who's friends with people in defense forces, or engineering, or athletes, any kind of Mars-dominated profession, military, you name it. And yeah, but pretty much you're going to be seen as having powerful friends. The 12th house from the Arudha Lagna will fall in Taurus, right? The 12th house from the Arudha Lagna falling in Taurus, this shows that your losses can come from somehow something to do with women, young women. So this could be interpreted in the wrong way, but yeah, because see, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and this basically shows that Venus related things can bring losses. So it could be young women, it could be possessions of all kinds, like beauty items, jewelry, clothing, all the fine things in life. So you can acquire losses because you buy too much stuff. And another thing that it can show is that your secret enemies are going to be young women. And by young women, I mean women who have never been mothers, or like, yeah, that's pretty much it. There are different definitions, but that's the one that I stick to. I mean, another definition could be women who have never been married, but that's kind of, no, not exactly. Actually, because, see, the difference between Venus and Moon is that Moon is the mother and Venus is the woman who has not been a mother. So, yeah, basically your hidden enemies could be young women. This could be women in your family. This could be, well, women that you come across. So, yeah. And this, well, another thing that I can say about 12th house is that Venus being a benefic there, it shows that in case you lose your job, or in case of a contract going south, or in case of a court settlement of any kind, you are more likely to win some decent monetary compensation out of that, as opposed to if you had like a malefic influencing the 12th, then you are more likely to incur heavy losses, especially if you like lose your job. So, or it's not necessarily heavy losses, but if you lose your job, for instance, you're not going to get compensation, stuff like that. So this has been it. I hope you have enjoyed it. Once again, thank you. And if you liked it and you want to see more content from me, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And if you're interested in a personal consultation, please check out the video description. I will leave the information there. Thank you.